her life.
Great. Hi, everyone. Give me your eyes to see that here's someone else than
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Shall we wait for a couple of minutes to see someone here?
Mm-hmm. Hi and good morning. And I think the video is recording.
Yep.
And then can we start now?
Sure. Yeah. Okie
Okay.
dokie. Let's start. So today we're talking about Shopify Career Path, and let me start with some introduction about us, and then we will smoothly move to talking about Shopify. So talking about Applied Labs, we have two major business lines. One is outstaffing, another one is product development. And the part that I want to talk today aligns well with our outstaffing business part. So, and talking, why did we come to development of Shopify training? We mainly work with the US companies. And in the US, there's a huge demand for Shopify developers. And wishing to show talents from Uzbekistan, we had this challenge where we couldn't find any Shopify developer in Uzbekistan. At that moment, we decided, why won't we develop our Shopify we will train them and we'll have our own Shopify developers in Uzbekistan. And we decided to work out the training. We worked out training. We have already had a few rounds of training. Now we are doing training. The last one has started in a hybrid mode, offline and online, with the high probability that the next one might be online training. So, and now let me tell you about what is Shopify development, what does it give to you as a front-end developer, what prospects you can and career development you can expect, and also we'll talk about the monetary side of this. Okie dokie. So today's agenda. So I will tell you what is Shopify and give you a bit of history, and I will tell you about Shopify some statistics. And if you still have got a question why you should learn Shopify development, we'll answer that question too. And I will tell you about Shopify Career Path program at Applied Labs, and also we'll talk about your potential earnings. And is there anything at the bottom? I can't see because,
Oh,
yeah,
I
sorry.
think we can do it like this.
Oh, yeah, that's much better. Thank you. And at the end, we'll have some time for Q&A. Okay, so Shopify, it is an e-commerce platform, and it started a few years ago, 6 or 7 years. I think it is something around middle of somewhere 2014, 2016, when two people from Canada, they decided to open their skateboards shop. And when they wanted to launched the shop, they found out that there was no ready solution for non-tech people just to go do a couple of clicks and get to that shop online. They had to go to find either Magento developers, other e-commerce. There's an e-commerce platform on WordPress, so they had to go through lots of research, finding out how lots of work with the technical people. So, and at that moment, they saw there was a gap in e-commerce platforms worldwide. So they developed their own platform, Shopify. And ever since, this platform is expanding. And this year, the last forecast was that they expect 500 million buyers on Shopify, while there are now already 1,700,000 shops already working on it. And it is working well in the US, in the UK, and Australia. What tells it to us as developers, we can easily tap into those markets. And I will tell you later how Shopify development is connected, if there is already, how it helps us if the e-commerce platform is already ready to go solution. So, and Shopify platform now, it has expanded since it was made something like you can start working on it from a small payment as $30 per month. Now it has grown into something huge where you can get any kind of shop that you want. It can be as small as like this, or you can, if your shop is, you want a separate theme that is developed only for you, you can get to that. There's also Shopify, it's a Shopify market where more than 7,000 apps are available. It is something additional to this general Shopify platform, where also our developers can develop their own apps, put it there and monetize it. And also there is now when big brands like we also our team, they work with the brands like Hugo Boss, it wasn't Nike, but some other similar brands and some top brands. So they need a lot of personalization. They want to do the shop in their own way. So at this point, Shopify developers are needed. So, and here are a few numbers. This is what I mentioned about merchants number. Sales are growing, and here this is a bit old where it says 3,200. This is number for the last year, and I read statistics for this year, and Shopify apps are now already over 7,000. And 7K plus employees work only for Shopify in Canada. And this number, Shopify developers around the world, is over 700,000. So, and here are some facts about Shopify. Before Shopify was a platform for creating online stores, it was called Snow Devil. This is the one that I told you when they started their snowboard business and they didn't find any other e-commerce platform. They just did their own, which is a really good hint for us. When you see a gap in the market, there, you can catch that with the supplying, and here you can grow into something like Shopify. So, and Snowdale founders launched platform. Oh, sorry, I was a bit wrong with this 2006 number. And so Shopify created an open source template language called Liquid, and it is written on Ruby. So for people who already work on Ruby, it should be really not challenging thing to jump into Liquid. And Shopify is a SaaS product, which is totally cloud-based and hosted. So one of the perks, one of the things that makes Shopify better for users is that it offers all solutions in one. Like, you don't need to think about your billing So you don't need to think about your accounts, APIs, sticking it all between solutions. It is already ready there. So you don't also need to think about your hosting. Everything you would usually care about on other e-commerce platforms here is already solved. So, and in June 2009, Shopify launched an application programming interface, API platform, and App Store. This gave it another boost, and this is what we are talking about, App Store. And the API allows developers to create applications for Shopify online stores and then sell them on the Shopify App Store. This is Shopify App Store is something similar like Google App Store, like Google Market. And as I said, there are already so many applications, and people, when developers see any demand and there is no supply with the applications they develop, they put it there, and people can use it. They can then they decide if they pay it for it once or they pay it for it monthly. So this is a great way to monetize your skills. And Shopify now is available in 20 languages, and the Shopify payment service works in 15 countries, which means that it is expanding every day. So, and now seeing how Shopify is quite a big thing and it is growing every day, and since it is growing, there always will be growing demand for Shopify developers. You might be still asking yourself why you should learn Shopify. First of all, it is really easy to learn. It takes only from 1 to 3 months to learn on our training course. And job opportunities, there are a lot of job opportunities once you have Shopify development skills. You can work with agencies, usually marketing agencies that develop platforms, they hire Shopify developers. Or you can build your own app and sell it in Shopify store. You can work on Upwork. So it is this is a relatively I'd say easier market for you to go to the markets where payment rates, hourly rates are high. And considering talking about the potential, Shopify is one of the fastest growing e-commerce platform, and in July 2021, they released Online Store 2.0. Now it made it totally flexible in terms of before you would just go to Shopify, you had to choose your theme among 1,000 themes if you want a ready solution, or you can then contact developers that will develop your personalized theme. And then you can go ahead with that Shopify store. But from as for Frontend, so backend, you were tied to Shopify. Now this Online Store 2.0, it allows you to have your frontend on Vue, on React, and just then use Shopify only for backend. And with this, the potential of Shopify increases even more. So, and talking about the Shopify Career Path at Applied Labs. So now, as a front-end user, you know what is Shopify, the potential it has got, where it can take you. Now you know that you can learn it from 1 to 3 months. And now let me tell you how it works here at Applied Labs. We do this training, and to get into this training group, you need to go through some recruitment process. First of all, once we announce it, people start applying. Sorry, give me 1 second, please. So, people apply, and they first of all we do scanning of their CVs. So we look at it is very important for Shopify to have good English, because all Shopify, when you're working on Shopify, it is always you're working with the native English speaking teams. And we also look at skills where some HTML, CSS, and one of front-end development frameworks like React or Vue.js knowledge is needed. If you have got some commercial experience, it's a bonus. So, and after that, shortlisted candidates go to HR interview, where your soft skills are tested. At this point, it's really very important that you are eager to learn, and you fit corporate culture in terms of that. People who are happy to work with you, and your English is so it's another time when we test your English after we scan your CV. Once you pass HR interview, the next one is a HackerRank test, where it is a technical test where we try to assess your skills again in HTML, CSS, and it also pays attention to different details, and it also has got some code writing tasks there too. So, and then final, those people who gain a certain score, they usually go pass to the next final interview, which is a technical interview. And this time now, the team, the training group that is going on, we extended offer to 10 people. So, and this time we started for the first time offline and online mode. Last our trainings, they all were offline, and so far so good. And also those people, they get paid. The pay is not like a salary amount. It is like 3 times less, but it is still enough for you to dedicate 8 hours a day. And not to think about, well, it will cover your basics. So, and now our August, the team that the training group that we had started in August, and they are now going on, which means that somewhere at the beginning of October, we will call for applications for the next round. So if you're thinking about applying for this program, this might be a good time to start getting preparations. And we also have our trainer, Yahyo, here online. After the presentation, if you have got any questions regarding the training, you are more than welcome to ask. And by the way, so far we have got 100% employment rate. All our trainees get employed, and the salaries, the starting well, let's talk about salaries a bit later. We have got a slide for that. So, and
question regarding getting into internship. How hard is to get an internship at Applied Labs?
Well, let me tell you in numbers, because just to tell, maybe for someone it was easy process, for someone it was maybe not very, it was a bit challenging thing. But it is usually we get over 200 applications, and we extend offer to 10 people. So 20 people per seat, if you'd like to say. So this is a common number.
Yeah.
So we have already covered those points about the selection process, and let me to repeat again that you need to have good skills in HTML, CSS, any front-end JavaScript framework, Vue, JS, React.js, and we also are interested, because this position work is it means that you will be working with the English-speaking countries. Good English level is very important. And as I mentioned, commercial work experience is a bonus. If you don't have it, but you have got good skills, we are fine with that too. So, I'm talking about earnings of Shopify developers. Those are just the first three recent ads that I got maybe from Indeed. And as a Shopify app developer with a couple of years of experience, you would get from 65,000 if you are getting a job offer from the US companies or UK companies. You should be looking at something like 65. I think it was the lowest that I've seen, but up to 100,000. So somewhere, depending on your skills and on your years of experience, all those jobs are remote, so which means that you can apply for them too. This is what you can. And by the way, we have got success stories with people in our team who worked a couple of years with us, and they polished their skills pretty well. They came with the zero experience and zero knowledge to our Shopify development program. And now one of them, he is CTO with our client. And this is a pretty big agency, and it is one of top agencies in New York. And he's CTO there. This is a really one of the stories, success story that I like in our company. And another, our colleague, he has got a pretty nice offer from the US company. And now he's working as a Shopify developer, working in Uzbekistan, living in Uzbekistan, and he's receiving US salaries. And talking about Uzbek, in Uzbekistan, rates, of course, are not as in the US. People can expect starting as already ready to start Shopify developer after their probation period. They can expect starting with $1,000. For juniors with 3 months of just learning experience, for us, it still sounds that we hope that it is something that attracts people. And living in Uzbekistan, you can multiply that number a few times. This is something that I think you can expect, but this is always subject to already your performance. And if you want to go to a higher rate, then you can start directly applying to US companies or put your profile on Upwork. So I will leave reading this slide to yourself. While I'm enjoying my coffee, thanks. Okie dokie. Any questions?
I think when others would have questions, I'll have one question.
Sure.
Like you said, only 10 people would be accepted, right?
Yes.
What if the developer don't get the internship?
Yeah, so I assume like if they still want to learn Shopify, but they haven't got into our course, Udemy offers some really nice courses, and they're at a pretty attractive price. And there are also some other courses that I will talk to Yahya after our this call, and I think I could even recommend some courses that we usually even we do training. We still buy a few we buy courses for our development team for their self-learning. So I think I could also send you names of those courses. Maybe if people are subscribed to VTM or GDG. Telegram groups, we can share them. But this is the best side, I think, for me personally, best side of IT is that you can learn anything you want and you are not dependent on anything else than Google and internet. So people can work on themselves and learn Shopify on their own. And we also have some job openings on Shopify. And if they apply with the Shopify knowledge, it will get them much higher score than other applicants.
Thank you.
Thank you too. So since I don't see any questions, let's ask Yahya. Yahya, would you like to add anything? You are much more into this and you know details much better than I do.
Hello, my name is Yahya, and I'm a Shopify developer working for Applied Labs right now. Um, if you want to learn Shopify and if you are not accepted to our training, there are a lot of there are other options. Yeah, of course, Udemy offers one of the best courses available, and also Shopify has its own documentation where you can learn Shopify by its blogs. And there's also another website that Shopify owns is Shopify Dev, which also offers a lot of like tutorials and documentation to get into Shopify and start on your own.
Yeah, and let me also add, yeah, I hope I haven't interrupted you.
No, no.
Okay, let me know. So there's also Shopify Academy where once you go, you do training, you can get a Shopify certificate. Yeah,
Yeah.
please let us know, is it free of charge getting the certificate?
Yes, it's free of charge. But I think you should have at least Shopify partners account. Um, there are two types of Shopify accounts. One of them is simple Shopify account, and there is other Shopify partners account. And I think you should at least have this account. I think it's paid, but I'm not sure. It shouldn't be like that much, but it offers pretty good options. Like as you said, you can get a Shopify Shopify developer certification, which you can add to your resume, right? And it helps you to stand out from other people as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we have had question about the difference between Shopify developers and front-end developers, regular front-end developers. And yeah, I think it's better if you answer that question.
Okay, front end and Shopify, usually there is no like a big difference between them. Like for Shopify, already has a ready to use backend. So the only thing that's left is to create themes with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And there's other one templating language called Liquid. And we should wrap HTML, CSS, and HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with Liquid, and I connect Shopify backend to our front end. There is no like big difference, but there are some syntax that you should learn. But at the end of the day, you will be working and writing code in plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So for someone who has experience in HTML and CSS, it's not going to be too confusing to read a Liquid code. It's pretty similar.
Yeah, and but another point, if it looks like for you, like talking to audience, if it looks like this is very simple job where there is no much coding, no, there is. Our developers, they usually work on two types of work. One is retention, where coding is very small when the website already exists. And there are also tasks when they have a full build where they need to build the store from scratch. Here they have building, and usually this kind of building store, it takes from 2 to 3 months.
I think we have another question.
So do we have any vacancies for those who have got 2 years Android experience and some experience in backend, not just developers? Talking about Android experience, unfortunately, we don't have any Android developer positions at all. But since we are an outstaffing company, please follow us on LinkedIn. As soon we have had an Android position recently for Middle East company. And as for Node.js, we don't have a Node.js position for Node.js developers right at the moment, but we have that opening from time to time. Usually, um, well, looking at the last 12 months, so I think we had it around 4 times this opening. So we announced it on LinkedIn immediately, and in a couple of job IT and another Telegram channel where job IT jobs are published. But LinkedIn is the best source to follow. Please follow us, and as soon as you see that we have got any opening, please feel free to apply. On another note for those who are applying, for example, if the job is requiring 3 years of experience and you have only 2 years, still do your best, showing your experience, showing your projects, giving link to your GitHub, showing and writing a good motivational letter, because usually company they are looking for talents. Those numbers of 2-3 years or 5 years, it is indicative, because the skill that we are looking for, usually they should earn within those years of experience. But we sometimes have stars like with less years of experience. I remember having 11 months of experience. One of our talents who was applying to our Shopify development, where we required 2 years. And his knowledge and skills were so good. We were so happy to extend him offer with his 11 months. And now he has easily grown in, usually if it takes 1 year for people to grow from junior to middle, he easily did it within half year.
Another question here.
Sure. I'm studying a level pre-intermediate at International. Can you try to, because I really want to join your team. Pre-intermediate, let me put it like this. It doesn't matter what course you're taking and how they label your level. Is it pre-intermediate, intermediate, or upper intermediate? Sometimes we see CVs where they say that they are upper intermediate level, but when we start talking, they find it very hard to express their thoughts, which doesn't really match the level that they are claiming. It doesn't really matter if you're at pre-intermediate, which level at International, as long as you can express your ideas, you can do our interviews in English and answer questions in English. We're more than happy to hear from you.
Okay, next question here.
Okay, there's a question from Anwar. Is it like a school that teaches and the rest depends on us? How can I be confident about the job in Shopify? I'm afraid to do my best in course and not finding a position in Shopify. It's not really like a school. Let me tell you how it works here, and I'm not sure what kind of school it is in your head. The school that I had almost during Soviet times differs a lot from what we have got here. Okay, so we have got curriculum, and Yahoo, he is responsible for teaching, and for 2 hours a day. 1 hour is dedicated to pure explaining and to pure explanation, and 1 hour is they talk to each other, and so it is 2 hours working with your mentor, and after that he gives for 6 hours a day he gives you task. So the next day during those 2 hours you cover what you have done, and then you learn something new. And every week you will be covering, you will be doing one website. So how to tell once you you are doing your best, when you are doing your best, and if you are not doing, if you cannot cope with something, you are asking questions, and we are always happy to provide more support than others need, if it is getting you some training, or if it is more hours of for example, your mentor. So, and once you finalize the course with the doing all the tasks, and you have your skills in Liquid, you have your skills in Shopify themes, etc., etc., then we will take care of pushing you into project. And once we are putting you into project, you will have an interview with the client. This is another moment where you should show your skills. So to tell, it differs from school. It differs a lot, because here a lot of work depends on you, and then it also depends on you when you are passing interview with a client. But so far, we all our we will also help you with the working on your business English, and we'll also do mock interviews. So we have got our CTO in the US, our the right word is a CTO. He's a senior Shopify developer, and he also runs a few rounds of mock interviews to get our team ready for interview with the client. So we do all the support that we can do, and the rest is for you to do your homework. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah. I think there are no questions left.
Okay. Therefore, thank you so much for your efforts. You did a great job doing your best last week and this week, and it's really nice to do this kind of conversation with you. And I would also thank Yahya, although it is Yahya's day off. Yahya was very welcoming to talk here today. Thank you, Yahya, very much too. And thank you all the guys. Sorry, I cannot see you at the moment, but for coming, joining, and listening and finding out information. You can find my LinkedIn as you see my name. I'm on LinkedIn. Please feel free to add me to your how it's called LinkedIn contacts. And if should you have any questions, please feel free to answer. I usually try to reply all the questions the same day, but if it is I'm a bit late, I will still come back later and do my best to reply your questions.
Okay. Anwar said he has one more question.
Sure. Yes, please.
Anwar? I think he's typing.
Sure.
Yeah. Here it is.
1 second, please.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm afraid I have missed the start of the question. If you don't mind, could you please read it or run it once again?
He said, once I'm hired to US company, can I get visa to USA and work there?
The remote work that we offer here, if we are putting you into a work with the US company, you are working remotely and you are hired by Uzbekistan branch of Applied Labs. In this case, we cannot provide you with the US visa. If you are getting hired to the US company directly, this is something that you need to discuss with them.
Mm-hmm.
And at Applied Labs, we are now working on providing relocation. And so far, the terms that we're thinking of to make that relocation available to the US is you need to be working with us for 2 years, and you also need to be senior developer. It doesn't matter in which areas, backend, front-end, or you're a data engineer, but we want to offer it to senior people. We are working on it with our US branch at the moment.
Thank you very much for your answers and your effort here.
My pleasure. Any more questions?
I think no more questions left here.
Okay. Thank you very much for dedicating your Saturday morning to hopefully something beneficial for everyone.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch then.
See you. Thank you.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.